And in movie industry, in the leading movie industry in the world, and do you think how about the connection of education and investment in movies?
Well, I'm not sure about the investment in the movie, but in just the training in general. When the digital media came out, it was all of the films were still being shot on film. And so there was a big gap there. There was, and again, it was necessary to start transforming. Stephen Jobs did a phenomenal thing. Nonlinear editing systems were very scattered, 15 years ago. Suddenly then, as digital came about, they started needing training for this. And now it's great for the young filmmakers, because before it was almost an elitist business. Very hard to get in. It was, even to make a small film, cost you a lot of money. So it was just limited. It was self-limiting. Now with the digital technologies out there, and Stephen Jobs of Apple did marvelous, because what happened, that the first nonlinear editing systems that there were no training on, they came out, and it was very expensive. One system could be $300,000, $400,000. Well, Stephen Jobs took Apple, and he couldn't make a deal with Avid, which was the top video editing system, so he developed Final Cut. And this was now, all of a sudden, students in high schools and junior high schools had access to hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of editing equipment. And now, for $200, he made it available for $200 to the schools. So all of a sudden now that changed the paradigm of how students were educated and how they learned film. Because now they could learn it by doing it. They had enough money. It wasn't difficult, or it wasn't costly to make films. Because how do you learn how to make films? You have to make them, and you have to have money to make them. So,
one point I wanted to add, and particularly with our university and others as well, many of the professors are actually in the business world as well. They might teach, but they also are currently involved in the field of study that they're lecturing to their students with. So you get the current in the trenches reality of what society and what business needs, and educating the student at the same time.
Yes.